as Austin's stylish Perry Logan stood on the fiscal cliff. He thought to himself, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I, Perry Logan, am not the kind of guy who jumps off a fiscal cliff or falls for such a silly concept as a fiscal cliff. But here on December 6, 2012, fiscal cliff is all you hear about. And even as I prepare to take my leap, I think to myself, I wonder if the fiscal cliff is not an illusion. I wonder if the fiscal cliff isn't something the Koch brothers just made.
We're the Koch Brothers. We own America. Don't run. Here's a reminder. We're the Koch Brothers and we own you. We have long ago purchased your politicians, your ideology, your media, your government, your Congress, your judiciary, your state governments. That was pretty easy for us. Hey, we're the Koch brothers, and in case you don't know about us, we are the fabulously well-to-do evil political twins of America. We own everything. We own Perry Logan, and Perry just doesn't get it.
That's not true, oh most righteous and powerful Koch brothers. Oh, Koch brothers, oh, Koch brothers, oh, Koch brothers. Let me give you a big one. Oh, Koch brothers, oh, Koch brothers.
The preceding was a satirical simulation and was not meant to gross you out.
As Gregor Samsa awoke from troubled dreams one morning, he realized that he was living in a land completely owned and operated by the Koch brothers, America's evil twins. Good God, Gregor thought to himself, this is worse than being transformed into a gigantic cockroach. The shops, the lights, the people walking along, they're all owned by the Kochs. The things they believe were made up by the Kochs, cooked up in right-wing think tanks that were created by the Koch brothers. I'm talking about the Koch brothers. They're real guys. And yet, to Gregor, they seemed veritably like the evil political twins of America. Are the Koch brothers printing the books your children read in school? Do the Koch brothers own the newspapers that you read? Or are they good buddies with people who do own the newspapers that you read? As I say, the concept of a gigantic web of control of rich people with these two big fat spiders. Just look at them. Cute smiles though. Just these two big fat spiders, whom we affectionately call the Koch brothers. Hi, we're the Koch brothers. Don't run from our grasp. Don't run from our embrace. We only look like spiders. We only look like gigantic financial spiders with their web cast across all of America. They own everything. They own Obamacare. That's right, we own Obamacare. Here's Perry to explain. I'm here at the behest of my Koch brother masters to explain how Obamacare is also a wholly owned subsidiary of the evil Koch brothers. The Koch brothers run everything. It's like I'm the only one who knows. Stop, Koch brothers, stop torturing me! I will obey! Woo! You see how bad it is? The Koch brothers have taken over this show. Everything's going wrong with the show. You can see we're having all these technical problems. But in all seriousness, and stop laughing, I said stop laughing. In all seriousness, here's the deal. Here's the deal. The Koch brothers, these real guys at the center of this show, who, well, they do bear a resemblance to nothing so much as two gigantic spiders, their bellies pursy with the riches of the people they have sucked up to their gigantic financial and political control web. What am I talking about? Hey, if you don't know about the Koch brothers, you may wish to Wikipedia it sometime. To Wikipedia it sometime. We will wait. The Koch brothers, essentially the theme here is that they bloody well own America. They bloody well own this show. They own this show. They own a fair portion of the ideas in your head. And, as I'm here to explain, they own Obamacare. The Koch brothers, in a sense, what I'm arguing is that in a very real sense, the Koch brothers are behind Obamacare. And this, as you can see, is my way of explaining how screwed up the political axis is. Like the political axis is spinning out of control to the point where lefties, people of relatively good will, my fellow lefties, okay, most of them, some of them, are singing the praises of Obamacare. Here's the deal. The Koch brothers begat a thing called the Heritage Foundation. And what, you may ask yourself, is the Heritage Foundation? Ooh, Ferry, what's the Heritage Foundation? Shut up! The Heritage Foundation is a so-called right-wing think tank. You get the tone there? So-called right-wing think tank. First of all, a right-wing think tank has got to be a very shallow tank. The Heritage Foundation is a right-wing think tank, and a right-wing think tank is, oh, how shall I say? A right-wing think tank is a place where people cook the stats to make the right look good. Is that blunt enough for you? Or perhaps you'd like something a little blunter. A right-wing think tank, my friends, is a place where usually academically trained folks are told to write articles that prove that cockamamie right-wing ideas are righteous. They say, this is the result, here's the money, write the article. So, that's what goes on in a right-wing think tank, and I think the Heritage Foundation is the biggest one. It's the biggest, or certainly one of the biggest, right-wing think tank. And they are places, all kidding aside, where, in my opinion, the political right perpetrate a type of intellectual fraud, scholarly fraud, you see. Their ideas simply won't pass muster in a scientific or academic setting. Their ideas and their beliefs do not make it through peer review. That's why you don't get a lot of academic articles about wingnut ideas, because it doesn't pass peer review, which is central to the academic system. So what does the right do? Admit their ideas are wrong? Just kidding. Just the concept that they would just say, I guess science doesn't back us up. We must be wrong. Well, okay, that's just unfathomable. Few people could do that on the right. who believe what they believe from birth to death, let's face it. Well, rather than admitting they're wrong and, admitting they can't get through peer review, they hire people. They just hire people because they have all this money. Let's give credit where it's due. The right has virtually all the money in the world, in the country, and in the political sphere. It all comes down to those two big spiders, the Koch brothers. Okay? Whom we love. Well, the Koch brothers really did create what is now, I think, probably the biggest, the most famous right-wing think tank, Le Heritage Foundation. And all I can say is that if you could somehow read all the junk, we call it junk affectionately, ground out by the Heritage Foundation, if you could actually do that, you would find out that the right have been right since the beginning of time. How about that? And as a corollary, the left have been wrong. You see, the problem is, at a right-wing think tank, you're paid to get a certain result. You're paid. You're hired, you see, to say, we need evidence, we need cooked up facts. I'm sorry, I did the quotes again. We need some cooked up facts. We need to make it look like guns are safe. We need to make it look like guns are as nurturing as mother's milk. Would you do that for us? You see, it's the opposite of science in the sense that the results are known in the first place. I don't know how people can do this, but the right can do this. All right, now you know. So the Koch brothers, you can see why they would do that. They created the Heritage Foundation, a very well-funded right-wing place. And it was this Heritage Foundation that came up with the idea of health mandates. A health mandate, to define yet another term, is the whole idea that you are made, kind of, you are kind of coerced into buying the worst product known to capitalism, known for its crappy products. Capitalism is known for its crappy products, and the worst of these is health insurance. And now you're being forced to buy it. Who could have thought of such a spitty idea? Could it have been Obama? Could it have been the Democrats? Could it have been the left or any progressives? Why, no. Liberal, lefty concepts and policies and laws are as popular as sex. I'm just thinking about it here. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about how very popular true liberal policies like Social Security, popular as sex, Medicare, popular as sex. See what I'm saying? Okay, but Obamacare is actually not very popular, and well, how could it be? It tells you to buy this crappy product, you see. And here's the thing that always bugs me. The whole system is still based on health insurance companies, and by their very nature, these companies make money by not providing coverage, by not getting you to the health care. They still make money that way. And Obamacare reduces their capabilities and says, no, you have to take care of people. But you see, well, they're not going to make money that way, so they'll have to make money some other way. It's capitalism. Don't get me started about capitalism. So, in truth, the idea of a healthcare mandate, which is kind of the long and short, or at least the heart of Obamacare, came out of the Heritage Foundation. You see where it's headed. The Koch brothers. Koch brothers, baby, founded the Heritage Foundation. And the Heritage Foundation begat the idea of healthcare mandates, and then it just kind of zeroes in, you see. The healthcare mandates were implemented by Mitt Dog-on-the-Roof Romney as Romney Care. Hard to believe. Oddly, no one wanted to talk about this during the election, but essentially, Obamacare is a Xerox copy of Romney Care.
It really did consult. They literally did consult. The Obama people consulted with the Romney people for this awful thing. It goes all the way back to the Koch brothers. This is what I'm saying. So, to my fellow lefties, don't defend Obamacare. It keeps those health care insurance companies in control. You know, they put in some laws there to slow them down, but they still make their money not delivering health care. That's how they make their living. What a system, right? That goes all the way back to the right wing with their terrible ideas. The right has terrible ideas. And it all comes back to those cute little spiders. The Koch brothers.
We are the Koch brothers. You have been assimilated. Repeat after us. We are Koch.
We are Koch. We are Koch.
We are Koch.
We are Koch. This is Abraham Lincoln, star of a major motion picture. And the president who whooped those rebel traitors. God damn those rebel traitors. This is Abraham Lincoln, and it still cheeses me when I think that those southern traitors were willing to start killing their fellow Americans because they wanted to keep their slaves. If I had it to do over again, I'd tell the South to get the hell out of the Union and stay out. That's just my opinion. It has come to my attention that America in the 21st century has been absorbed by an evil race of alien twins called the Koch brothers. The Koch brothers are behind everything. They're behind the state laws that control your life. With their kind of money, they can buy state governments easily. The Koch brothers are behind ALEC, a horrible organization that promotes such terrible laws as Stand Your Ground, where the authorities can never prove you weren't in fear of your life. A classic bad law. Just look at these diagrams. Like so many interconnected webs, ALEC and other organizations are perpetrating evil right-wing laws on America, in case you wondered why life is going down the tubes. Not to interrupt, but I was wondering why life is going down the tubes for so many of us, for most of us. It's going down the tubes, and you know what? The stats indicate it's been going down the tubes since Reagan. I make reference, of course, to Ronald Death Squad Reagan. He has fans here. Ronald Death Squad Reagan, president currently being flayed in hell for the Death Squad thing. I said the flayed in hell for the Death Squad thing. Come on! Flayed in hell for the Death Squad thing. I'm kidding. I like to kid. Even though I am another puppet, I'm probably another puppet of the Koch brothers, and so are you. Every Democrat. Yeah, those bloody Democrats. Every Democrat who defends Obamacare is working for the Koch brothers. Tell them this. Tell them this. Maybe they will go away. Hey, little Democratic defenders of Obamacare, go away. You are boring us. Democratic defenders of Obamacare, you are boring us with your defense of this horrible law that came from Romney Care, that came from the Heritage Foundation, that came from the Koch brothers. We are Koch. We are Koch. I am Koch, you are Koch. It's hard to confront the reality that these diligent world builders, these rich guys, and others like them, that's the deuce of it, they have been spending fortunes to get their little tendrils. I must say the words tendrils come to mind. To get their little tendrils into the government, and basically how could they fail unless the people in government were saints? Okay, then we know they're not saints. That kind of money would, eventually suborn almost any government, seems to me. So, you see, we're screwed until we get the money out of politics. But right now, it's cochified. We're all like Koch. We've all got Kochnophobia. We're living in the Koch zone. We're living in Kochland. It's just, we've been all cochified, don't you get it? Koch, 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 Koch. What is it, little man? Did you really vote for Jill Stein? How dare you say anything bad about Jill Stein, you little weasel? Is this thing working? I'm testing this thing. Boot. Cat. Grief. So there us lefties were up on the progosphere, and everyone on the left is now aware of the Koch brothers as being two real immensely rich guys, and they're not just two guys dabbling in politics. They're two guys who are kind of like have a vision for America and the money to back it up. It's that bad. And that's why it dawned on me this morning. I woke up, a tear in my eye, and I realized that I am Koch. You are Koch. I am Koch, you are Koch, he is Koch, she is Koch. Repeat after me. I am Koch, and you are Koch, and he is Koch, and she is Koch. We are Koch, and you are Koch, and all are Koch. That's the spirit. We are Koch. I am Koch, we are Koch. You have been assimilated. Isn't it grand? Too bad there won't be any health care. The Koch vision of America is a horrible, sordid kind of like, we're going to be a kind of a armed Indonesia. We're going to be a kind of a third world country where there's no safety net. I mean, if you can't make a living or if your luck goes bad, it's kind of all over for you. This despite their charming smiles, okay? Which looks something like this. I'm sorry. The show is not a literal... I'm sorry. The show is not about these literal guys or attacking them in any personal way, but their actions speak loud as anything. The Koch brothers, the more people study it, the more they just say, "Look at the Koch brothers." And I like to pick my fellow lefties. I can't help it. I do have that gadfly quality. I get myself in trouble all the time for piquing my fellow lefties about how Obamacare can trace its not-so-proud lineage back to the Kochs. And there's no point freaking out about it. It's the simple truth that, Obamacare came from Romney Care. Romney Care came from the health care mandate idea, the health insurance mandate. That came from the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank, and that was founded by the Kochs. I said founded by the Kochs. I said Koch. All right, well, so, symbolically speaking, it turns out that Koch brothers are like two giant, mutated twin alien spiders from a distant galaxy who have all this money. Well, they have money. They just, as a lefty, can I just say how frustrating it is that we live in a world, we live in a commodified society, if you will. The U.S. is a very commodified society, that is. There's a price tag on everything, and everything's a scam. That's the capitalist way. Ultimately, in the capitalist nirvana, there's a price tag on everything, and everything is a scam. We're pretty close to that, right? The corporations run the government. They own the government. So here we are.
Perry, you shot my brother. You gunned him down.
Dude, it was just play acting.
Oh, that's right.
We are Koch. Repeat after me, we are Koch. Repeat after me, we are Koch, or there will be no tramp routine. We are Koch. We have found out everything in the United States is owned by the Koch brothers, all of it, even the Democrats, even Obamacare, all of it, okay? That's the point. Now repeat after me, we are Koch, or there will be no tramp routine. What? You don't want a tramp routine?